Welcome everyone. This is The Gentleman's Approach, a podcast on life, skills, and everything you need. My name is Will Anderson.
My name is Mohammed Smith.
And today we're going to talk about Tinder and why that's not where you want to be. I'll give it off to Mohammed Smith to start it off.
Alright. So Tinder, you can get a lot of pussy off Tinder, but it's never going to be the pussy that you're looking for. It's never going to be the women that you want to meet that have any value. You're not going to find a girl to bring home. So I mean that's pretty obvious. But you know, I've never heard of a Tinder story where people end up dating and having successful relationships. If you're looking there for a cheap, for some sex, even then it's a little dangerous, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've gone on Tinder. I've had a couple dates, hookups. It's all just so gross because all the girls that use Tinder, they're the ones that aren't hot enough to go out and attract guys in real life, or they're just too slutty and don't give a fuck. Yeah. And that's how you're going to get something.
Oh yeah.
So
guaranteed. Yeah, there's every girl you find there. If you're looking for that sweetheart, you're not going to find her on Tinder. You're going to have to find her in a coffee shop, in a bookstore, something like that. And that's going to take a lot more work than just swiping right and saying, "What do you want to meet up?"
Yeah, Tinder's the easy way out. But, I mean, it is kind of nice to go on there and talk to some girls and learn some tips about, text psychology and shit like that. And to go see the market. So I suppose what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the types of girls that you find on there. And we're going to help you set up the profile the way that we used to when we were on Tinder and on the hunt. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you want to take it away?
Sure, yeah. So with setting it up, you have to always keep in mind what you're trying to pull. So if you want a slutty girl, throw in, buff pics, whatnot the case. And you won't get any smart girls with that, though. I mean, you'll get the bimbos if you want to just show off your six pack. If you want to show off things like, well, how my profile was tailored was I had my motorcycle pictures in there to kind of show that I ride. I also had a very douchey looking photos, so that would attract only the girls that are into douches. So you definitely need to tailor the kind of girl you want. If you want a girl that loves animals and more like the bookie kind of girl, you'd probably have pictures of yourself playing board games in one of your pictures, or what's another one that would work good with that? Like, I guess looking classy. Yeah,
looking classy. Oh, I mean, obviously use your best pictures because that's what everyone does on Tinder. But chicks love animals, so if you have a picture with a puppy or a cat or something, that would be good.
Oh yeah.
And then and I don't know, outdoorsy stuff. Girls love guys that lead interesting lives. So and that's all that you're trying to advertise on Tinder. You're basically sending out your resume to fuck. So I mean, and the about me section, don't write anything long. That's just going to come across as like, I've found it. I mean, experimenting with your own style is the most important thing, and finding out what works for you. But when I was doing it, I found that short, cheap, sarcastic lines work the best, or even ridiculous lines like, "Oh, looking for someone to practice 50 Shades of Grey with," or whatever, something that has a little funniness but keeps you as a mystery. It's important when anywhere in pickup for you to be a mystery that they need to solve, because women, I've only met a couple women in my life that don't like murder mysteries. Women love mysteries, and if you present yourself as a mystery, they'll want to solve it. So
that's so true. Yeah. They always chase the unknown. That's definitely one of the good text messages to send to, especially on Tinder, is to keep them always on their toes, keep them guessing, because they don't know much about you. So when they go through and you have those 5 or 6 photos, you want to make it as exciting as possible, so they're willing to talk to you and they might be willing to send the first message. You don't want to send 5 photos of you at home on the couch. Then you have nothing to talk about, nothing to say, and it's going to make it that much harder for them to try to make a conversation with you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, text psychology is a big thing. I don't know. When texting a girl, the odd thing with Tinder I found was, and this is another reason why Tinder isn't it's not the place where you're going to meet anyone that means anything, is because I found the success rate of me just first text, no conversation, no nothing beforehand, texting a girl, meet up tonight, or, let's go to Cowboys tonight, or let's go out to a club tonight, there was a higher success rate in that line than any other opener trying to talk to them, find out who they are, or anything. It's really weird. But that's just the Tinder community, And if that's what you're looking for, fucking great. That's cool, We all go through times like that where that's kind of where we want to be. But if you're looking for anything that means a little something more, or, somebody that you're just cool with, like, hanging out and having as a fuck buddy, you're not going to find a clean one on Tinder that isn't fucking, like, 10 other dudes. So,
At that rate, you might as well just go order one online. At least
Yeah.
then they take care of themselves.
Exactly. Exactly. Those ones get the tests. Tinder is gross. So, and, take it from us, you don't want to wake up one night or one morning, and fucking wash yourself in the shower for 30 minutes fucking scrubbing your dick off because you feel so disgusting. I've done that a couple times. I didn't learn the first time. I had to go out and do it some more. But, you've got to find out the hard way. If you got to find out the hard way, power to you. Go do it, but it doesn't have any meaning to it, and it's filthy. Leave you feeling gross.
But if you're on there and you're trying to figure out, okay, you match with a girl and now you're like, hey, how do I open a conversation? Definitely look through her profile. Don't just pick up some cheesy line unless it's a funny one. Funny ones can work if it's original. But if she's heard this line 100 times, don't waste your time. That's probably the guy before you said the same thing. If you have a chance, take a look at a profile, try to make a joke off that. A lot of girls I find on there actually have stuff in their bio, or they have like pics that you can refer to and probably relate to. That's probably one of the best things to do, I would find. But keep in mind the flake rate is stupid high on Tinder.
Oh yeah.
Like I've had many cases when they'll start talking to me, and then you have a proper conversation, all of a sudden it just dies out, or the other way around. You'll start a conversation, they're into it. Next thing you know, they're getting 50 matches a day, guaranteed. So you have to stand out of the crowd, and also have to accept that some of them are just there to talk and get bored and distracted, or whatever the case is. It has nothing to do with you. Well, sometimes it can if you come on a little strong, send that eggplant right away. But just keep that in mind when you're talking to them, that there's a high chance that because you've actually built no physical connection or even emotional connection beforehand, you're trying to start from an unemotional message, very low chance that things can succeed.
Yeah, that's another thing with with just picking up girls in general. Physical and emotional connections are your ticket, and that's why on Tinder you're not going to find anything that has any meaning, because you're communicating through fucking text. Like, I am not a big fan of text anyways as it is. It's I fucking get into so many goddamn text arguments with my girlfriend. Like, because it's text.
Yeah.
It's so many things can be taken out of context, and trying to joke and trying to like figure out how they text and all that, it's a waste of time. And now, if you're new to this, if you're new to Tinder and you think Tinder's, the bomb, or, you want to get some fucking hot pussy on it, you're looking in the wrong place, man. Your resources are so much better devoted towards actually going out and meeting women. It's easy to fail online because it's just a face. It's not anyone you know. And so it doesn't take a lot of courage. But if you're looking to meet somebody who actually means something, you're going to have to step up and be a little more courageous and talk to the girl at the grocery store who you walk by. Or, go out to the club and walk up to the hottest girl there and fucking tell her you think that's how she looks. That's what's going to find you a girl that means something. And of course you're going to fail. And at the very start you're going to fail a lot. You're going to fail the most. But, it's like with anything. It's always the hardest at the start. You're picking up something new, it's always the hardest at the start. But don't let that discourage you. If you let that discourage you, you're never going to achieve your dream. And it's simply a number. It's a function of numbers. So, you walk up to 100 fucking smoking hot chicks and ask them. Eventually, one of them's gonna, they're gonna be, oh, okay, wow, you think I'm so hot? Well, I don't think you look that bad either. And there you go. It's just a function of numbers.
Yeah, and some of the stereotypes, like with hot girls, they don't always stick. Like, you'd think some hot girls are into just huge jack guys, like, the Brad Pitts of the world, but some of them have different tastes. Like, you don't know until you go up. So you miss 100% of shots you don't take, pretty much. So, my ex, she was into nerds. She would constantly try to make me look like a nerd, and it was the most shocking thing. And she was like your typical big tit, tall girl.
Yeah.
You're seeing the club, you're like, okay, yeah, so she's obviously going to go for a big guy, but when you look in reality, even her exes would follow the similar pattern of like nerdy and, not huge guys. So, again, just, you have to go there, you have to put yourself out. And that's why we don't really believe in the whole Tinder game, unless you want that cheap, gross nut.
Yeah.
We talked about earlier,
yeah.
Because girls are very emotional, and they thrive on this emotional connection. And if you don't have this in person, it's very hard to escalate unless you get on that date. And then, if you can get through that date via text off Tinder, then you have to make sure you put 100% your game on that date. Otherwise, you won't have any other chances to emotionally connect with them.
Mm-hmm. Another thing is girls really respect courage. So that's another thing on Tinder. Just because you're talking to them on Tinder, giving them compliments, it doesn't register in that part of their brain. If you go up to the club and there's a girl who knows she looks fucking hot, and you walk up to her, you stand tall, you smile, and you say, wow, you're gorgeous. That takes fucking balls. And women know that. And they will respect that. Some women are, straight up bitches. Yeah. And they'll, oh, well, fuck off. I'm with fucking Arnold over here.
Yeah.
But if it's a function of numbers. And that's how I've met some girls that have been really meaningful to me, even though it has been at a club. You walk up and you say, wow, you are fucking gorgeous. What's your name? I'm Dan. Or, I'm Jacob or something. And then, I'm Mohammed. But that'll get you pussy. That'll get you stuff. So I suppose considering our horrible experiences with Tinder, we haven't really given you any proof yet. You want to get into that? Come up with a story?
Sure, yeah. So we got some mutual friends here.
Yeah.
So one of our friends, we'll just call him Steve. So he was down in the States, and he went on this date with this one girl. In the end, he was telling me the story. She ended up being about, I never really quite got the weight factor on this, but he didn't seem very satisfied when he was telling me the story. He's like, oh, I finally got it in, it's been so long. I was so happy, and I was like, okay, yeah, so tell me a bit about her, I'm obviously going to be curious. And he's just like, well, she was kind of a bigger girl, and I was like, what? and then his story just went downhill from there. He's like, yeah, I went for coffee. I wasn't really too happy about it after, like, but I was like, you know what, just suck it up and go for it. And personally, I don't condone just taking one for the team, but I think I'd rather continue a dry spell waiting for that diamond in the rough instead of hitting the rough for the diamond.
Yeah.
Digging through the dirt for the gold, you know? But he, you know, the kind of girl he ended up finding was just a girl that did not make him very impressed with himself or feel any better. So he ended up doing his thing, hit it a few times, but that story, just his confidence went just lower and lower as he kept telling the story. And you could tell he was unimpressed. And even to this day, I don't even know what this girl looks like or anything about it. But it's definitely was not something he was proud of, that's for sure.
Yeah, if no matter how long your dry spell, don't do it with somebody that
it's too easy.
That's just too easy. Yeah, like you still have to respect yourself and respect them, because if you're not attracted to them, it's just not worth it. You're gonna wake up gross, and you're putting yourself at the risk of catching something that could jeopardize your future. So don't be stupid.
And that's not the gentleman's way. That's the low, greasy way. You don't want to do that.
Exactly. So, another story about my old roommate Steve. He different Steve. He loves Tinder, fucking loves it, and that's okay. We've all got our preferred methods of attraction, but he'd go out, he'd talk to, I don't know, like I'd be on my computer fucking around when I'm supposed to study, playing video games or something, and his fucking around was on Tinder messaging, and his success rate, this past year I was living with him, he only fucked one girl, and it was from Tinder, and he was on Tinder non-stop the whole year. He's not a bad-looking guy either. Like, it's just, it's just no good. You're not going to find anything that's worth anything. But he caved, and he brought this girl home. He actually set up a different profile that was like a fetish profile, and showed his picture with a fetish mask on, and that was the only time that he got pussy. So that's another tactic if you want to use, Don't have your real name or real Facebook attached to it, but that'll get you some freaky pussy, but it's not going to get you clean pussy. And, but yeah, it's just not worth your time. It's a waste of your time. But I don't know. Do you have any more stories? I've got one more story about myself.
Nothing really too funny on my end right now.
All right. Well, I suppose I'll break into my story. So, I broke up with this one girl once upon a time, a couple of years ago, and I was feeling really low, and I met this girl on Tinder, and she had huge tits, huge ass, but she was skinny, and, it was sweet, but she had a really slutty look about her, and because, I knew that. And it was kind of great in the way that, she wasn't anything serious. She was just like a slut. She was my dirty slut, kind of. So, as horrible as that is to say, but yeah, so we went out dancing a couple times, and then I fucked her. And then I fucked her again, and I slept over that night, and I got up, and I went to my car the next morning, and there was a note sticking out of the side of my car. It was from one of her neighbors, and to this day, I don't know if he was trying to cockblock me or something, but the note said, and I quote, "Bro, that girl is the most disgusting girl I've ever seen in my life. She's filthy, she's a whore. Go get yourself checked, and don't see her again." And then it says something like, bros before hoes. But that was fucked. I already knew that this girl was dirty. I was kind of putting it off in my mind, and then I saw that, and it was like a wake up call, like holy fuck. And then I was talking to her the night after, and I asked her if she had any STDs, and she told me she had 2. Had as in like past tense at that time. So, but they had gone away, and after that, I just stopped talking to her. So, I went and got myself checked. I'm fine, but
definitely a wake up call at that point.
Yeah, that was the last Tinder hookup. So,
yeah, I actually thought of another story here. So, my friend James actually went on a date with this one girl, and this is an introduction of the concept Facebook angles. So she looked hot, pretty decent in her Tinder profile, and when he went to go meet up with her, this girl had managed to gain a lot of weight, at least 50 pounds from the photos to in person, and her face was not at all what he thought it would be. So he had to suffer through about an hour or 2 hour coffee, just talking to this girl, and he was just dreading it the whole time. And he didn't try to pull out, obviously, that night. He just tried to get there as quick as possible, but this girl was just not letting him have it. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at these photos, is makeup can do a lot, and same with the angle. The angle these girls take photos at, they've perfected this. There's a reason that picture's on there. They're not going to send a picture that makes them look unflattering. They're going to have that angle that makes them look small, tiny, whatever the case is. So make sure you look through a couple, and group photos is like the worst. If there's a group photo, just on all of her photos, just don't even bother.
Exactly.
The guesswork's going to end up leading you to... You're going to think it's the better looking one, and you're going to show up, and you're going to find completely the wrong girl.
It's the tactics, man. It's the tactics they employ. But...
And that's also definitely, you want to avoid a lot of those on your end, because same thing on her end. Maybe throw a group photo if it's a good one at the end of your streak, at the end of your photos or something, but don't make that pick number one. If I see that on a girl, I almost always just swipe left, unless every girl is pretty cute, then I'll try to decipher, but a 2-person photo maybe you can get away with, but never like 6 people up front, hidden, and that's like the rest. Don't even waste your time.
Yeah, Tinder, the idea with Tinder is you just never know what you get. So, at least at the club, if you go out and you meet a girl, might not meet your wife, not very likely, but at least you can kind of tell the company she keeps, the attitude they have, how fucking drunk they get, how respectable they are, Not to say that a club isn't a dirty hookup, but Tinder is a dirtier hookup. And if you want to keep yourself clean, maybe in the future you want to have, kids, or you just don't want to fucking shoot out green jizz. So avoid Tinder.
Some moldy jizz.
Yeah, you don't want any of that. You don't want your nuts to fall off. You don't want to fucking... I've heard stories from other people where they go out for a Tinder hookup, and one thing that I'll say about Tinder is that if you invite a girl out for drinks, it's a very good tactic. However, it's a very bad tactic if you want to avoid STDs, because my other buddy, actually the same buddy, Steve, he's told me about other Tinder hookups where he went out, and we've all done this. You get way too drunk. You can't find a condom, and the girl's there, and you're so fucking lustful and passionate. And not, you know what I mean. You just
horny.
Yeah, and you just want to fuck her, and so then you say fuck it. You're in the heat of the moment. You don't put on a Jimmy. You just stick it in. We've all fucking done it, but if you do that with Tinder, the chances of you getting something, I don't know. Friends have told me about times where they've woken up and fucking pissed blood next morning, or other times they'll wake up and the girl was on her period and they have fucking blood all over themselves. Like,
oh, gross.
Yeah,
that's fucked.
You just never know what you're getting, man. The places that you're gonna find girls to fuck that are cleaner is the club. The places that you're gonna find women that are respectable, and ones that you want to have around in your life as good company or relationship or whatever. They're going to be doing out what you like to do. You know, if you like climbing, they're going to be climbing. If you like fucking biking, they're going to be biking. If you like, I don't know, video gaming, they're going to fucking be at Comic-Con or something. Like,
yeah, go to events where you enjoy doing things. If you're a quiet person, you're shy, and you have like maybe a couple buddies, and now you're like, okay, I need to find me a girl. You know, the bar, sure, you can try those scenes as like to kind of, you know, throw a couple of drinks back, get the nerves down, get some experience. I mean, same with Tinder. It's probably one of the best ways to practice your text game. Just random openers, just to kind of like get yourself unnerved.
mm-hmm.
But if you want to get actual women involved in your life, you definitely need to go out and go to that coffee shop, grab a coffee, make eye contact with a girl, smile, go talk to her, you know, go climbing, join meetups. You know, what's that app? Meetup, I think it's called, or whatever it is, that you can like randomly. Yeah.
I don't know.
But there are ways you can get involved and, you know, meet more people without having to get drunk and sifting through, you know, the hard to get girls.
Yeah. Any girl that's on Tinder that is, you know, some of you might be thinking, oh, well, fuck, I've matched a couple really hot-ass girls on Tinder. Well, yeah, all of us, you know, well, not all of us, but some of us have. And, like, they're on Tinder. The hot girls are on Tinder. But if you think about it as in, from a hot girl's point of view, why would they care? Why would they bother with any random, unknown stranger on Tinder? No matter how good they look, they know how much those pictures can be manipulated. They know all the catfishing, all the bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to be taking anything from Tinder seriously because they already have so many high-quality candidates that they actually get to meet in person around them all the time. They're not going to take anybody on Tinder. You can be Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can be The Rock Johnson, you can fucking be, you know, anyone. They're not, unless they're a fucking psychopath, they're not going to take you seriously. And you don't want to fuck a psycho because you don't want to wake up with your nuts glued together.
Yeah.
So.
You don't want to walk in and just see a fucking dildo as she straps that on. I remember reading a story about that.
Oh, fuck.
This one guy actually went on a Tinder date. I think this is out in the UK. And so the girl seemed pretty normal. Things were going okay. It was his first girl off Tinder, and this person was also really new to the whole Tinder game, or even girls in general. So he just got on a relationship, I think was what the story was. And so he talks to her, you know, has a good time, and then she's like, oh, do you want to come back to my place? He's thinking, sure, why not? You know, things are going pretty well. Goes back to her place, and then it's kind of dark in her place, but he's like, whatever. He's just sitting on the couch, and then she shuts off the lights, and he thinks she slipped into something more comfortable, you know, as the women always say. And turns out when he turned around, he saw something glowing, and he didn't quite understand what it was until she got closer, and that's when he realized it was a 6-inch glow-in-the-dark fucking strap-on. And this guy just got up and ran out of there as fast as he could. So...
But he wasn't fast enough.
Yeah. He didn't want to admit that part.
She cornered him.
So definitely be careful.
Yeah.
With these, you could think you're getting it in, and it turns out she's trying to get it in you.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, he was never the same after that.
Always walking with a limp.
Yeah, he never bent over to pick anything up. He just squat. Yeah. Fuck.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess, did you have anything else you wanted to throw on this Tinder spiel?
Well, I think we could maybe a little bit about diamonds. You know, the one thing about Tinder is, of course, it's always working for you. So if you want to pick up girls while you're taking shit or, you know, fucking dog, then that's one thing. But tailor, you know, be honest to what you want or whatever. Just don't take it seriously, but if a diamond does manage to fall out from the fucking sky,
Mm.
go for it. It does happen. It's very rare.
Mm.
Very fucking rare. More rare than in real life. But it can happen. It's always a roll of the cards. Or roll of the dice.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just do what you... just go out there and learn for yourself. That's the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Definitely go practice and do it out more in person. I mean, yeah, I guess I've had a couple of cases of potential. Well, I have one diamond, I think, out of that. I got one girlfriend a couple of years ago from it. I mean, in the end, we broke up because she had some issues with men. So.
Oh, those are rare on Tinder.
She, yeah, so that one doesn't go into details necessarily, but, you know, you can find occasionally a girl who just messages you first maybe, and she actually seems kind of cool and a little bit more down to earth, but again, I think last time I had one of those in about 200 matches. I think I found like one diamond or something. It was very low odds. I mean, again, you're sifting through rough to find that one that sticks out.
Yeah, it's easier to sift through the rough in real life instead of online, because there's a million things that can be hidden behind a couple pictures and a little about me fucking section. So stay safe, don't get any fucking STDs, and use your courage to find a girl that means something in the real world instead of a bunch of bullshit fucking makeup and Photoshop and nastiness on the internet. So
yeah. And keep listening to us. We'll definitely come out with podcasts on all this stuff. So going talking to a girl out on the streets, you know, getting into God mode, texting conversations, how to escalate. We'll go over all this stuff. So we'll help guide you to avoid Tinder and actually find the person you'd like to be with for maybe the rest of your life, the rest of the night, you know.
Yeah.
Your summer abroad, you know, we'll help you get there. So keep listening and keep following.
Yeah, we'll be coming out with more content, so subscribe, like, favorite, or whatever all that bullshit is. Do whatever. And yeah, let us know in the comments below what you guys want us to talk about.
Right.
And we'll talk about it.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Peace.